everyone, welcome to Must Read Monday. My name is Dabney. I'm the young adult librarian at the Twin Lakes Library System, and I use they, them pronouns. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about 4 Latinx authors that we have in our collection. September 15th through October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. Other people also refer to it as Latinx Heritage Month. I'm going to have some more information about that in my video notes because there is a difference between like Hispanic and Latinx identities, though there is a lot of overlap and a lot of discussion going on about like what this month should be referred to as. Anyways, after talking to some people, I'm just referring to it in this video as Latinx Heritage Month, but you all can let me know your thoughts on that, please, if I'm getting anything wrong. So anyways, I created a really long list of all the authors in our collection who have Latinx heritage, or like that's how they identify. And so that is all available on our Goodreads shelf, so I'll have a link for that that you all can check out. And it was really hard for me to kind of narrow down who I wanted to talk to from this list. But I did choose 4 authors who, we have a lot of their books in our collection, and I've read a lot of their books, so I'm familiar with them, and I can really confidently say, like, these are all amazing books. You would all like them. And then there's also a good range there as far as, like, crossing genres, and, I think there's something for everyone to love from these authors. So first of all, we'll get started talking about Adam Silvera. Adam Silvera is one of my very favorite authors. I first met him like years ago. He did a book signing in Decatur at Little Shop of Stories with Becky Albertalli. This is when his second book, History is All You Left Me, was coming out. And I had read his first book, More Happy Than Not, and it destroyed me, basically. I cried a lot, and I, never cry. I think I've read, 3 books that legitimately made me sob, and his was one of them, and I told him that, and he wrote me, a really nice note in the book, was, sorry I made you cry. But, yeah, all of his books, well, I would say his 3 contemporary standalone books will probably make you cry. And, the one thing I appreciate about that and about him as an author is even though his books do, stir up these very intense feelings, it's not like he's manipulative with his writing. Some authors, I feel are kind of manipulative, they're really, digging in and going for, the low-hanging fruit that is just, you're why did you do that? That was unnecessary. And his books are not like that at all. So, More Happy Than Not, History is All You Left Me, and they both die at the end. They all kind of have, some kind of common themes. They're, contemporary. The main characters are, queer, and I think all of them also come from, a Latinx family, and I think they're all set in, big cities, the Bronx and Brooklyn and Manhattan, and, they kind of have that commonality between them, and they also look into issues of, death and grief and just getting at these really, really powerful themes and emotions, and yeah, I just really, really love it. And Infinity Sun is kind of a departure for him. So that one is a fantasy superhero story, and it's really cool, how he combines magic and superheroes together. It's really interesting, and it's the first book of a trilogy, so these other books are standalones, So you can just read them and weep, and then pick up Infinity Sun and be like vastly entertained. And then he's also co-written a book with Becky Albertalli, What If It's Us? And I'm really ashamed to admit this, but I haven't read it yet, which is ridiculous. Like, I actually went to their book launch that they did in, I don't know what town it was, somewhere like near Atlanta. I think it's where Becky Albertalli's actually from. I went to the launch and I got them to sign this book, and I was so hyped. And I think sometimes books, I'm just so excited about them that I can't even read them. And that's one of the books, and I'm gonna read it soon because I feel very guilty that I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I think I could really use their combined writing powers right now in my life to make me feel better about things. And yeah, so those are all amazing books. I would highly, highly recommend them. Just, make sure you have your tissues available. And then our next author is Zoraida Córdova, and she writes, so she's written a lot of books, like I think 13 books, and we have her Brooklyn Bruja series. So 3 books in this trilogy. The 3rd book, Wayward Witch, just came out at the beginning of this month, so we don't have it yet. It's in our next book order, so look for that soon. And these also are audiobooks on RBDigital. So I had read Labyrinth Lost, I don't know, whatever year this came out. It's been a while, and I really enjoyed it. And then, recently I just listened to these audiobooks. Like, I finished Bruja Born today. I really enjoyed it. So these are kind of like, I would say, like urban fantasy. So, if you like the Shadowhunters series, definitely check these out. But what's really great is, learning more about like brujas and brujos and this tradition, and kind of looking at the like Latinx community in, I think they're in, I just listened to this and I'm already like, where were they? I'm pretty sure they're in Brooklyn. Like, that's where these girls live. So it's following the story. This one is about Alex, and this one is about her sister Lula, and I don't know about Wayward Witch, but I'm guessing it's probably about their other sister Rose, but I haven't read the description yet, so I'll just keep that to myself. But yeah, they're really, really good. This one actually involves the characters going to like another world or like realm, which was really cool. This one had, this is mild spoilers, but this one deals kind of with zombies, but they're just really neat as far as like the fantasy world building. I really love the characters. So yeah, super good. And then I just finished this one today as well, Incendiary. This is I think her newest book. It just, I think it came out earlier this year, maybe March or April, I can't remember exactly. This is like a high fantasy book, so it's not set in our world. It's a completely different world. And there's like this people group, the Moria, and they have like different magical powers, and they're being like systematically like killed off by this one like empire who just wants to like kill off all of their people. And the main character, Renata, she has the ability to like take people's memories, so she can like, steal memories and like get get information from them, but sometimes she can like go overboard with that and accidentally or intentionally, depending on what happens, take all of their like memories and basically like wipe them out mentally, and then they just kind of die after that. It's sad. So yeah, there's so much going on with this story. Lots of action and adventure and spying and romance and lots of secrets. I really enjoyed it a lot, and it's like a pretty thick read, like 450 pages, and it's the first book in a duology. I feel bad, Adam, I didn't go into like a lot of detail with his books, but yeah, definitely check him out. Alright, up next is one of my favorite authors, even though I've only read 2 of his books, but Benjamin Alire Sáenz. So I first read Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe when I was in grad school. And I was putting together like a book list of like diverse books that dealt with the theme of first love. So I was reading like a lot of books that I never read before, and this is one I picked up. Obviously, it's highly recommended. Look at all those awards. And it's very well deserved. This book, I remember, like, I started reading it, like, one evening after work, and I stayed up all night reading this. And then I went into work the next day and could not shut up about it. Like, every single coworker I talked to, I was like, let me tell you about this book. It really changed my life. That's not an exaggeration. And I would say kind of it was a big part of like my understanding of who I am as a person. So yeah, it's forever special to me. It's kind of a historical like setting, set in the 80s. So yeah, for all of you youngsters, it's a historical novel. But it's about these 2 boys, Aristotle and Dante. They're both Mexican American, and I can't remember what state they're growing up with, but I think it's like in the southwest of the United States. But yeah, it's a story of their friendship and things that happen to them, and I don't really want to spoil it, but it's deeply powerful, realistic, and yeah, one of the most special books in my life. I want everyone to read it. And I think what's really great about this book, and I also feel like about Adam Silvera's books, is, when I was reading them, these characters are like very different from me, like different background, different experiences, and yet the way that they're written, you just really kind of like get into their mind and feel for them and learn from them, and you just walk away changed. It's very powerful. So yes, this book, read it and have feels, and then talk to me about it. Then The Inexplicable Logic of My Life. It's been a while since I've read this one, but it also, it has a contemporary setting and also featuring Latinx characters, and it deals a lot with, friendship and family and trying to figure out, what to do with your life, and kind of follows, 2 different teens and what they're going through, their senior year of high school. So yes, it's good. It didn't leave as big of an impact on me as Aristotle and Dante, but it's also very good. And then I haven't read this one yet, and I feel bad, but last night I sang to the monster, and I'm just going to read the book jacket to you all, because I haven't read this book, but it says, Zach is a senior, but he's in rehab instead of high school. He doesn't remember how he got here. Remembering sucks, and being alive, well, what's up with that? And so in this, I think he's it looks like kind of the sections of the book goes through what he's currently experiencing, and then flipping to him remembering things that happened in the past, which in that case makes it kind of similar to History is All You Left Me. But anyways, like I said, this is on my to-read list, to read soon. And I forgot to mention, I'm going to have more information in the video notes as far as like which of these books are also available online, because they're all in our collection, so you can check them out now. But this one, I'll also add that the audiobook is narrated by Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton, so if you like his voice, listen to this. Alright, our final author is Anna-Marie McLemore, and I have 5 of their books, and I've read 3 of them, so I need to catch up and get with it with that. But one commonality, at least with the books I've read, and from what I've read of the other ones, I think this is fair to say about all 5 of them, is they all are written as like magical realism, which is where, you know, it's set in our world, but there's like magical elements going on. So kind of like the Raven Cycle is another series that I think does magical realism really well. One thing I love about their books is the language is very beautiful and lyrical and descriptive, and, you know, like, I love this book cover, and, you know, this very lush, vibrant cover, and that's kind of what their writing is like to me. It's very distinctive and mysterious and lovely. Yeah, there's usually some weirdness going on that you're like not really clear what's happening, and then as the story develops, you're like, oh, okay. So the first book I read by them is When the Moon Was Ours, and yeah, this book was also like had a really big impact on me because the love interest in this book, Samir, is a trans guy, and this is the first book I think I'd read where you know, a trans character was like one of the main characters, and you know, the way that our main character Miel, you know, the way she thinks of Samir and the way they are together is just so, it's so lovely and sweet, and I don't know, they're just both really great characters, and there's so much strangeness happening in this book that it just kind of blew my mind. It was very cool. Like, Miel, like, roses grow from her wrist, and I'm just like, what is happening right now? And I think Samir came from a water tower. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read this. I need to reread it or like listen to it if there's an audiobook. So yeah, it's great, and all of their books kind of have like these magical realism and like queer themes and like Latinx characters that are just really special. And yeah, like all of her other books are just really, like, they kind of have like this beauty and mystery and magic and love, and just secrets and things happening. So these are 2 other ones that I read, Wild Beauty and Dark and Deepest Red. Yes, and then I still need to read The Weight of Feathers and Blanca and Roja. So yeah, so those are the books, lots of books. I encourage you all to, you know, go read more about these authors and kind of read the book descriptions, see what speaks to you, and yeah, check them out and read them. Let me know what you think. Look at our Goodreads list and, you know, read some more about those books too. There's so many amazing books, and there's even more coming out. There's some in like our new books list that I'm really excited about. And then on our teen Tumblr, everything YA at TLOS, I've been posting every day different pictures of the books in our collection by Latinx authors, so definitely check that out. And also I've been posting just other cool book things of interest. So yeah, that is all for me, and I hope y'all are having a good September, and I'll see you next time. Bye!